The tank didn't just showcase German engineering prowess, it exposed a critical strategic vulnerability. Even the most powerful weapon was susceptible on the battlefield, not due to inadequate armor or firepower, but an insatiable thirst for fuel that rendered sustained military operations across extended campaigns virtually impossible. The North African campaign concluded in utter disaster for Axis forces. Between May 7th and May 13th, 1943, approximately 230,000 German and Italian soldiers surrendered in Tunisia. The entire Afrika Korps ceased to exist as a fighting entity. Among the captured units were survivors from Heavy Panzer Battalion 501, one of Germany's elite armored formations, equipped with the fearsome Tiger tanks. Tigers had begun arriving in Tunisia in late November 1942. The first 3 Tigers from Heavy Panzer Battalion 501 reached Tunis on November 23, 1942, marking the combat debut of German heavy tanks in North Africa. More Tigers arrived through December and January, eventually building the battalion's strength to 20 operational vehicles. The Tigers' formidable reputation preceded its arrival in Tunisia. Soviet forces on the Eastern Front had already encountered these Leviathans in January 1943 near Leningrad. Red Army reports described vehicles capable of obliterating T-34 medium tanks from distances exceeding 2,000 meters. The Tigers mounted the renowned 88mm gun, a derivative of Germany's highly effective anti-aircraft weapon repurposed for anti-tank duties. This gun could penetrate the frontal armor of any Allied tank at ranges where return fire was utterly ineffective. American forces first received intelligence reports about German super heavy tanks in early February 1943, relayed through British sources. The description seemed exaggerated to soldiers accustomed to engaging Panzer III and Panzer IV medium tanks. Intelligence summaries detailed a tank weighing over 55 tons with 100mm thick frontal armor and a main gun capable of destroying Allied tanks from beyond 2 kilometers. Many American tankers dismissed these accounts as British embellishment or propaganda. The reality, however, surpassed the dire intelligence warnings. On February 14, 1943, German forces launched Operation Frühlingswind, Spring Wind, striking American positions at Faid Pass in central Tunisia. Elements of the 21st Panzer Division, reinforced by Tigers from Heavy Panzer Battalion 501, attacked Combat Command A of the United States 1st Armored Division. The Battle of Sidi Bouzid on February 14th and 15th unequivocally demonstrated the Tigers' superiority. Combat Command C of the 1st Armored Division counterattacked on February 15th with 52 Sherman medium tanks. German forces had shrewdly positioned anti-tank guns and a classic ambush, with Tigers providing support from longer ranges. By the time Combat Command C withdrew, 46 of its 52 Sherman tanks had been destroyed or disabled. Post-battle analysis yielded critical insights into the Tiger threat. A battlefield survey conducted 3 weeks after the engagement meticulously mapped destroyed American tanks and identified the weapons responsible for their demise. Remarkably, only 1 Sherman had been struck by an 88mm round, whether from a Tiger or towed 88mm anti-tank guns. Most American tanks succumbed to 50mm guns from Panzer IIIs and 75mm guns from Panzer IVs. The survey underscored that while Tigers were few in number, their psychological impact far outweighed their actual battlefield presence. The Battle of Kasserine Pass, commencing February 19, 1943, immersed American ground forces in large-scale combat against seasoned German armor. Tigers participated in the offensive, albeit in limited numbers. American Sherman tanks, armed with 75mm guns, were forced to close within 300 meters to have any hope of penetrating Tiger armor from the flank or rear. Tigers, conversely, could engage effectively from 2,000 meters, enjoying virtual immunity from frontal attacks. The psychological toll on American tank crews proved severe. Army medical officers documented what they termed Tiger Phobia among tankers who had encountered the German heavy tanks. The mere report of Tigers in an operational area would prompt American units to request air support and artillery preparation before advancing. This psychological effect amplified the tiger's tactical value far beyond its actual numbers. By March 1943, specialized training materials had to be developed specifically to address tiger phobia among American armored units. Intelligence summaries stressed that tigers appeared in very limited numbers, possessed vulnerabilities, and that proper tactics could nullify their advantages. However, these training materials offered little practical tactical guidance for Sherman crews confronting tigers in direct combat, beyond the unsatisfying advice to simply call for artillery or air support. The final weeks of the Tunisian campaign in April and early May 1943 exposed a different tiger vulnerability: mechanical breakdowns, acute spare parts shortages, and crippling fuel supply issues. These problems immobilized more tigers than Allied action destroyed. Heavy Panzer Battalion 501 had arrived in Tunisia with 20 Tigers and 16 Panzer III support tanks. By the end of April, only a handful remained operational. The rest sat abandoned or were destroyed by their own crews as German forces crumbled. The battalion's war diary, captured by British forces and later shared with American intelligence, meticulously documented the deteriorating situation week by week. Entries from December 1942 initially showed 20 Tigers operational upon arrival. By December 28th, only 14 remained operational, with 8 sidelined for mechanical repairs. Spare parts proved unobtainable. Fuel supply was erratic and insufficient for sustained operations. By January 30th, 1943, only 11 Tigers remained operational. The diary explicitly noted that fuel shortages were becoming critical, with each Tiger demanding continuous supplies of fuel, lubricants, and spare parts, provisions that German logistics in North Africa simply could not consistently provide. March entries reported a mere 6 Tigers operational, the remainder down to mechanical failure or fuel shortages. Requests for spare engines were denied, with headquarters reporting no engines available anywhere in the theater. The April 20th entry vividly captured the desperation. Allied offensives were shattering all German positions. Orders came to retreat, but fuel supplies were sufficient only for limited movement. Many Tigers would inevitably have to be abandoned. Demolition teams were overwhelmed attempting to destroy such a vast amount of equipment. Some vehicles, it was understood, would fall into enemy hands intact. Tiger 712 never received demolition charges. Its crew, facing overwhelming Allied pressure and desperately low on fuel, abandoned the vehicle in an olive grove near Tunis. Whether they anticipated demolition teams would eventually reach it or simply fled to save their own lives remains unknown. The sheer pandemonium of total military collapse left many such questions unanswered. Lieutenant Sue of the 104th Tank Workshop, Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, meticulously documented the discovery of Tiger 712 on June 9, 1943. His report noted the tank sat functional and intact in an olive grove alongside other abandoned German vehicles, including at least 2 other Tigers and a Panzer III. The grove appeared to have functioned as a field workshop, with one Tiger's engine covers already removed. Demolition had completely destroyed one Tiger, but Tiger 712 remained untouched. The discovery electrified Allied intelligence communities. Colonel George B. Jarrett, chief of the Foreign Material Branch at Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland, received notification that American forces had secured an intact Tiger. This represented an unprecedented intelligence opportunity. For months, Allied forces had battled Tigers without fully comprehending their true capabilities or limitations. Now they possessed one to examine, measure, test, and analyze in painstaking detail. The recovery operation itself served as a stark demonstration of the Tiger's extraordinary size and immense weight.